All right, we got the beefy boy here, 68 RFE. This one's out of a late model because it got the blue solenoid pack. Ram. This one's on a 2500 with a 6.7 diesel. I believe the issue was it was slipping when trying to shift to overdrive, or there was no overdrive when it did shift. I believe we're suspecting a burnt overdrive clutch, which is pretty common in these. I believe it was setting ratio codes for gear ratio 4, gear ratio 5, which would be overdrive. Just go ahead and strip that one out, that'll work. Alright. I think the most annoying thing about a lot of the Chrysler units is that they used to silicone their gaskets on their pan gaskets, but the late model stuff they went to a an actual molded metal gasket, which is nice. And look at that, we got some charbroiled goodness in the bottom of that pan. You can see the clutch material. Look at that. Just pieces of it. This thing's well done. This is not how I like my steaks, but I do like my transmissions well done. So I haven't seen one of these. This is a real late model one. Haven't seen this yet. Chrysler added this on here. It's 20 or 21 model. Let's go ahead and yank this thing off. I know I've read what this is, but I cannot remember, so I'm sorry. I think it was some kind of line pressure control. Oops. Alright, look at that, I got a little nastiness down there. I missed the valve body removal. My class's notifications were too loud, I couldn't hear when the video stopped, so I took the valve body off and got the cover out and then pulled the pump out. So, sorry I missed that. I'll do better next time, I promise. But I just pulled the valve body off. It's just sitting there. I didn't open it up yet. Got to pull these two out. Two speed sensors. And grab the shaft. And pull. Alright, we'll definitely open that up because I'm pretty sure this is where our issue is going to lie. Get that fluid out of there. Work our big beefy snap ring out of here. This is beveled. See the bevel in it. Hopefully that comes out on the camera there. Gotta make sure the bevel goes in the correct way. This is our 4C, 2C clutch support. 2C's here. Not suspecting an issue with the 2. Snap ring. Yeah, nothing really crazy there. This piston supply. Clutches are inside here, so we can pull this support ring out. And let's pull this planetary. Got to check these planetaries real close. Make sure you got no bad pinions. And these are 4C clutches. Nothing really crazy going on there. And we'll pull this planetary out. No, we won't. No, we won't. There's a little snap ring back here that you have to take off before you're allowed to pull the planet out. Get all these loosened up. The bottom one's aluminum, and my special 15mm. Womp womp. Alright, this one's a pain in the butt. I like to loosen them so that way I can at least incorrectly use my sockets. That'll be our little secret. Don't tell the Matco guy. There we go, there we go. Back over. And now we can go back to impact sockets. Oh, no you don't. Look at that. Don't forget about that bolt. I heard that. You heard that. Tippity tap. Ho ho. There we go. And listen up the ring. There he is. Alright, right off, and this holds the reluctor wheel. So just push that through. Take our reluctor wheel. And we can slide our planetary out. So watch out here. I've had the bearing in the bottom of these planetaries fail before. Usually with high mileage, but you know, just gotta check. Pull this one out. Okay, this captured bearing here. This captured bearing can fail. And I've actually had it fail and not tear the rest of the planetary up, so you gotta watch out for that. That feels good. And let's see if we can get this last snap ring and drum out. This is the low reverse. just got to work it around. This one is also beveled. And pull that out. This is the one-way clutch. These are bad about failing. And you know about these one-way clutches, they make an upgraded one-way clutch for these. It puts the roller assembly in it from the 45 RFE. But we have found, or at least in my experience, the 68 RFEs will still kill that roller sprag, or roller clutch. And when the roller clutch fails, it causes way more damage than this sprag type. So you decide what kind of failure you want. There's less chance of that roller clutch failing, but when it does, it takes out a lot of stuff. And when this sprag type clutch fails, it just rolls over, and that's it. Just the sprag fails, typically. So I like to use those and not go with the updated one, because I don't want to deal with a huge failure if and when it does fail. Low reverse looks hunky-dory. Case is empty. We'll pull this filter off, get all the silicone off, clean it up. Let's tear apart this input drum. Make sure to put our tools back as we go. Alright, big honking input drum. Bearing in there. It may fall out at some time. I gotta tap this pressure plate down. And the top clutch is the reverse clutch. Pry gently. Oh, the bearing fell. Let's see if we can catch it. Don't drop the soap. Alright, here's the reverse clutch and reverse clutch hub. Got them. No issues there. Reverse clutch hub. And this is the reverse clutch hub. I'm sorry, that's the reverse clutch hub. It's the overdrive clutch hub. And you can see we got some heat from burnt clutches in here. So we're going to pull off our retaining snap ring here. Loop. This one's not as much of an endurance fit. It should come right up. May need a little bit of help. There we go. It's burnt. See there? See the edges are crispy. And we got the overdrive clutch. This is the underdrive hub. There's our overdrive clutch. Yep, just like we suspected, she's burnt. And these are all single-sided. So you have metal on the metal plate on one side and the friction material on the other side. And you can see the friction material is pretty much roasted off. This was that was a little bit, yeah, those are, see how coned they are? They cone themselves inward like that. So they kind of got a bevel going to them. And this is the bottom overdrive clutch. Let's get you out of there. You're in my way. This goes against the pressure plate here. And now I'm going to pull out the underdrive retaining ring. Split, there it is. So just put our scribe in there. Pop that out. And work it around. It's a big spring. This one's also beveled. Clean that up a little bit. The snap ring got it. And one more. Yes, Chrysler loves their snap rings. Hey, this snap ring, if they can put a snap ring somewhere, they did it. I think they had to get rid of them or something. I don't know. They were just like, more the merrier, these things. But they all serve a purpose and a function. So, you know, I talked in an earlier video, I think I was tearing a 42 RLE down. Don't know if I got on video or not, that it was the same architecture as the 68 RFE showed the same architecture. If you go back to that video and look when I tore apart that input drum, you can see the similarities about how we have a underdrive, an overdrive, and reverse clutch, and it's got an outer piston, an inner piston, and a piston inside the third one. So it's kind of it's interesting setup. You know, this drum here will actually push up, and this one will push down. This one pushes up, and this one pushes up. So there's 3 different actions going on inside here. So it's a pretty neat compact design they have going on. And it, like I said, it shares the same architecture as the front wheel drive transmissions, the rear wheel drive little small 4-speeds, and they just kind of blew it up on a bigger scale. And you can even see the clutch hubs have very similar looks. It's just like it's on steroids. If you look at, you know, the smaller one versus the bigger one. Some differences, they got the drum on the bottom, of course, and the planetars are much bigger and beefier to hold up to the torque they put onto them. And so the pumps here, the valve bodies here, don't really need to tear these apart. I mean, usually the overdrive failure is due to some valve body issues, but we're not going to be able to see any glaring issues. They're small issues that get fixed with different kits and reaming out valves and oversizing things. They're the small things you're not going to see. You can see the effects. Clutch is burned up. That's the cool part. Oh wow, burned up clutch. But what you don't see is what caused it to happen. Is usually there's line pressure leaks. There's, you know, low pressure going to that clutch that causes the burn up, and that happens from tiny. It's like a death by 1,000 cuts. You know, the valve wears out. You can't barely see it, but it's there, and it drops pressure under load. Someone's towing something, and it puts the stress on the clutch, and it's done. So I'll get the rest of these apart, and we got some upgraded stuff for it on the need for the proper application of this truck, as the guy, of course, wants to tow trailer and all that happy stuff you do with a diesel truck. And we'll get them right, and we get it back together. So thanks for watching.